We are in week 10. Today we're talking about first a cool feature on being able to hide text, hide your text, and then we're going to get into some of the basics of document protection. Alright, so first, our base text is actually just going to be my notes from this week, some of them. So to hide text, you highlight the text you want to disappear, click the arrow in the font tab, go down to Effects, hit the hidden text box, and then you'll have this extra, you see this extra space in here, but the text is for all intents and purposes gone. You can't see it, and whoever you send this to also will not be able to see it. To undo it, the first way is if you remember, which section your text is hidden in, just sort of click, drag, and highlight that blank space. Go back into this font tab, uncheck the box, and bam, there your text is. Another way, so we're going to hide this again to show you the other way. Another way, sorry, I had the reason all of those spaces decompressed was because I had these spaces highlighted too. Right now I just want to highlight the text. I'm just going to highlight this text, or highlight the text and hide it. Another way to, I've showed you how to hide text from yourself and from others completely, and then how to turn it off. Say you want to keep text hidden, but you yourself still want to see it because you're editing it. So we've hidden the text. Other people can't see it, but also you can't see it. That's not working for you. Go into File, Options, Display. Always show these formatting marks on the screen. So we have this formatting button up here that shows certain formatting marks, like section breaks and page breaks and indentations. Well, it won't show hidden text. But so we go into this always show these formatting marks on the screen, click hidden text, and now our hidden text is revealed to us, only us, and these little dots indicate that it's hidden, it's protected from others. It's a signal to us that it's hidden, but we can still see it and work on it. Here's the problem though. So I'm going to turn this feature back off for a second. Say we hide some text, and so now I've just gotten the text default hidden again. Say we hide some text. We don't want to have it on display for us. We don't need to look at it. We don't want others to see it. Here's the problem, though. If someone thinks there's hidden text, or they don't know, but they want to check, they can just go File, Options, Display, Hidden Text. So on their end, they can pull up that hidden text. So this hiding text it's kind of useful, but it's really a very ineffective document protection strategy. What hidden text is really good for is, say you're editing something and you want to see how a document reads or looks without a particular passage. You can then hide the text and decide whether or not you want to put it back in the document. You can distribute documents with hidden text, but if you have colleagues who are not especially ethical and who like to snoop around and who know that trick, you're not doing a very good job of protecting your document. So, you can use this, but use it sparingly. Alright, I'm going to unhide this text now because we're done with that. So just, this is a good trick. It's good for editing. Just be careful how you use it and always be careful who you're sharing with. But, that's true of, pretty much any situation. Alright, so now we're going to go into different types of document protection. So we're on our home screen. File. So this info ribbon is selected. Information about document 1, because I haven't saved this because it's a demo file. Protect document. So you have a lot of options here. First is Mark as Final. What does Mark as Final do? This declares that the document is completely finished and makes it read-only, meaning that you and whomever else you share that with cannot make changes. Let me reiterate, both you and the people you share it with cannot make changes. If you have hidden text, this will make it stay that way. But you know, there are even ways around mark as final. So say I've marked this document as final. Uh, So it's marked as final. It's read-only. Now, you can go edit it anyway. But the problem is, so can you know, another person. This will show up as to discourage editing. It won't necessarily forbid editing. So you can click edit anyway. So can another colleague. The other thing they can do is if they didn't edit anyway, they could go File, Save As, go into Save As, resave the file under a different file name, and then that document doesn't have any of that mark as final protection on it, and they can keep going and you know, edit it, reveal any information you've kept hidden. Is it likely? Not necessarily. Does it happen? Yes, and that's something you need to be aware of. It's definitely kind of it's a big issue. One thing I will recommend is that no matter what you're doing with document protection, protect documents you're going to send out, for sure. Be sure to protect documents you're going to send out, but also save an unprotected copy just for yourself that you can keep in a reliable, secure location. So I would go into Save As and save an entirely separate copy, and then resave the document. So say I wanted to make this final. So I have this demo 1. I'm going to rename it to demo 1 final. That's the one I'm going to mark as final that no one else can copy, and that's the one I'll distribute. But then I'll have this, you know, this but then I'll have the regular demo 1 on my that just says demo 1 on it on my hard drive. So that way, you know, I have a nice editable source document that's mine that I don't have to worry about. That's pretty secure and stable. All right, I'm gonna go back into edit anyway because I want to show you some of the other options. Let's go back into file. Next thing you can do is encrypt with a password. So what you're doing is making a password for that. You know, you type in the password here. The password I have typed in is monkey. It's not a very good password, but you know, this is a demo. You click OK, and then you need to confirm the password. Before I confirm the password, let me point you to this caution note right here. If you lose or forget the password, it cannot be recovered. You know, this is not getting stored on Microsoft servers. You can't call tech support and be like, I lost the password to this document. So again, what I just said about saving an unprotected copy in a secure location, definitely do that if you're password protecting a document, because if you lose the password or your colleague loses the password, it cannot be recovered. So you want to have a source version that you can, so you know, if something happens and then this document gets locked forever, you just want to have an unprotected document that you could work from so you don't have to start from scratch, because that happens. People forget passwords, people lose them, and then they have to build the whole document from scratch all over again. So, save yourself time, save a separate copy, you know, somewhere safe that you can go to in the event that the worst happens. Anyway, so I typed in the password monkey. It wants me to confirm the password. And now a password is required to open this document. So let's close out. Yeah, let's save. Whatever. Saving's good. I encourage that. So let's go and find where I saved it. I didn't see where I saved it. Okay, so demo 1 final is, I think, the one I password protected. Yep. Enter password to open file. I type in monkey, and there it goes. I can now go and edit this document. But again, save a usable copy elsewhere. Alright. I'm going back to that old demo file, like, I'm going back to an unprotected, this unprotected, okay, we can edit this anyway. I mean, it's still protected, but I can edit it now, even though it's been marked as final. So the next option is pretty cool, and it's restrict editing. But before I go any further with this, I want to point out that that restrict editing feature is in the review ribbon over here. And if you have the developer tab enabled, not everyone does, but if you do, it's also in that ribbon. So you can find that here and here. Anyway, but so, restrict editing. No matter where you decide to grab your restricted editing from, when you enable restricted editing from, it'll bring you back to the document with this sidebar here. So there are three things to do. First, and this is optional, but you can limit formatting to a selection of styles. And then you go into settings and decide which things you want people to not be able to edit. So people can't edit balloon text in comments, or they can't edit the body, or indents, or titles, or captions. Basically, this has all the formatting options selected right here, or you can go with the recommended minimum. And this is what Word thinks. These are all ones that Word thinks you need to, Word thinks that no one should be allowed to edit bullet lists, or headings, or page numbers. Or you can just say none, but at that point I would just turn it off and start over. So we'll just go with the recommended minimum for here. Now down below there are three formatting restrictions. So this one, allow auto format to override formatting restrictions. I would generally recommend not checking that. I don't think, your mileage may vary. It's your document. I personally would not feel comfortable allowing auto format to override my restrictions. I would not be okay with that. Your mileage may vary. That's just my my personal, and that's the only one I feel strongly about. Theme switching or scheme switching, that might be important. Like if you have one of those automatic word themes set up and you really don't want anyone to mess with that, check that. Go for it. Block quick style set switching. These are some of those automatic styles we looked at a few weeks ago. If you really don't want people to block or to mess with the style that you set, yeah, go ahead and check that. But yeah, again, those but this allow auto format. That was one that I really like. As an editor and a writer, I'm very passionate about not messing with. Anyway, editing restrictions. You can set it so you can edit things, or certain aspects of a document. So you can say no changes, make the whole document read only. Or you can say that someone could edit comments that that you've made on their document. You can edit comments, or you can edit track changes, recent things that have been done differently that show up with track change markings. Or they can, if you've created a form with content to fill in, well, you can fill in a form. That's fine. You can set that up. I'm just going to set it to read only. Now, if you set it up to read only, you can set up exceptions, which is cool. So you could send this to, say you send this to 5 people, but there were 2 people you were okay with editing the document. You could set them up as exceptions. I can't demo this because it requires a Windows Live ID. So honestly, unless your entire Office or whatever uses the Microsoft Live system for communication and everything, you might not actually ever be able to use this feature. And I actually can't demo it for you because I don't even have a Windows Live ID. But this is something you could set up if you wanted to. Anyway, you've decided what you want. Yes, start enforcing protection. And then you'll have 2 options. a password. I'm making my password hello because, this is, you might want to use better passwords on your own. This is just for a demo. It's password. User authentication, again, is something that requires Windows. You need to set up a separate account with a separate Windows service. I don't have that. I don't have the money to pay for that. Unless the office where you work has shelled out for a license for that, you might not be able to use that ever. But it's there if you have the means to use it. Just know that this requires working with a third-party system. Anyway, but you start the password, and and then there you go. And then now your permissions. This document is protected from unintentional editing. I can only view this. And there aren't any regions I can edit. So even though this highlight the regions I can edit checkbox is checked, there's nothing here. Then there's find the next region I can edit and show all the regions I can edit. Again, I haven't set up anything that I can edit, so it's not showing anything. Stop protection. To stop protection and edit the document, I have to type in hello, and then there it is. So that's the other thing is if they have the password, they could ostensibly turn off protection. So it's not always again. Word doesn't have necessarily the most secure options for saving things, but you got to do what you can. Anyway, this is restrict permissions by people. This again requires Windows Live IDs and signing up with a separate service, so it's not something. And then there's digital signatures, but that's pretty complex, and I'm actually going to tie that in with another unit later, because I think it'll dovetail with another editing thing I want to teach toward the end of the semester. The one drawback to digital signatures is that it also does frequently require third-party services or paying Word for different licenses. But I will go over it because it might come in handy for you. So that's today. And again, let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.